Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Today I just want to make a quick video talking about the new Tekken 8 patch that came out a few days ago in relation to Bryan and the buffs that he got. He got a lot of buffs, also a few small nerfs that we're going to talk about, but I've had a lot of people ask me my thoughts on the patch and how good is Bryan now and things like that. So I just want to make this video to go over all the Bryan changes with you guys and talk about how it changes him and how good he is now afterwards. So let's get started. So the first thing that we have to talk about is Bryan's Heat Smash. His Heat Smash got buffed a lot. I have been calling Bryan's Heat Smash trash since the game came out. I think it was one of the worst Heat Smashes in the game. It's still not amazing, but it is definitely much better now. So the first big change is that the damage was increased from 45 to 55. This might not sound like a lot, but it does actually make a pretty big difference. 55 damage is a pretty big chunk. 45 wasn't really that good. The biggest buff though that it got was that it's now plus 15 on block, and it leaves them range 0, as you can see right here. Plus 15 on block, range 0, you get a completely free mix. It's really not that different to when you hit a heat engager, you're plus 17, range 0. It's kind of the same thing here. Before, it used to only be plus 9, and it kind of pushed them pretty far back. But now it's plus 15, range 0, you get a completely free mix-up. So I think his Heat Smash actually has a lot more usability in neutral now. It's still 16 frames, it's still low crush. The hitbox is still not amazing, but there were some other changes as well to improve its use during combos. I'll show you that now. So before, Bryan's Heat Smash kind of had a problem in combos where the first hit would connect and the other ones would whiff. But they kind of buffed it to make it more foolproof in combos now, to where if the first hit does hit, all the other hits will hit pretty much every time. This isn't a really huge change because I don't really see much utility in combos for Bryan's Heat Smash since the damage isn't great and it scales pretty heavily. But for example, if you do want to use this Heat Smash in combos, like let's say you just do like a staple like this, and just to show you guys that it will connect from far away. You guys saw that he was really low to the ground and the Heat Smash hit him from really far, but all the hits still connected. That would not have happened in the last patch, but now it got buffed. So if for whatever reason you want to use Bryan's Heat Smash in a combo, now you can a lot more consistently. So the last change that his Heat Smash got was its application on the wall. So before, if an opponent would block Bryan's Heat Smash at the wall, they would kind of get stuck in that wall crumple type of situation, the new tactics, where they're in full crouch. Now that's not a thing anymore. Even if they block it at the wall, it's always plus 15 standing, just like that. Doesn't really change too much, but just another small change relating to his Heat Smash. So overall, his Heat Smash is a lot better now just because of the damage and the situation on block. So I do see some use cases for it over just like doing QCF 1+2 Heat Dash or whatever if you do have Heat. So it's a pretty good buff. His Heat Smash went from garbage to okay, so that's a win. We'll take that. So Bryan also got a small buff to his Rage Art. This one has been confusing a lot of players. The patch notes say that they adjusted the collision detection with the opponent to make it more difficult to slip under a floating opponent by extending the collision upward. That's kind of a mouthful. Basically what that means is that if an opponent is in the air, it's more difficult for Bryan's Rage Art to just slide under them and not hit them. In Tekken 7, this was a pretty common thing. It's not as common in this game, but basically when opponents do jumping moves, especially if your Rage Art kind of hits upwards like Bryan does, there's a chance that they'll just jump over it and you will slide behind them, and then you have a chance of getting punished. So this has been changed now to make it more consistent with Bryan's Rage Art. They basically extended the hitbox of the attack upwards so that it's harder to like jump over. So for example, with like Lars Demon Flip, it's a lot harder for Lars to just jump over it now, which he used to be able to do pretty consistently. But during my testing, I learned that it's actually not perfect. So if you do it really early like this, he can still jump over it. So yeah, not the best change, But the later that you do the rage art, the more consistent it will be. But yeah, I mean, still, like, not the greatest change ever, but at least it's slightly more consistent now. Just a small little buff. Okay, so Bryan also got a small nerf to his down forward 2-3. So the way that the second hit of down forward 2-3 works is it's basically just a 3+4. There used to be a feature, I guess it was a bug where if you would hit someone with down forward 2-3 while they were power crushing, the 3 would act like a normal 3+4 and push them super far back on hit, and their power crush would whiff. So this used to be really common with Nina's power crush, where basically you could hit her with like hatchet kick and then do down forward 2-3, and the down forward 2 would get power crush, but the 3 would hit her and she would be pushed back. Her power crush would whiff. You could whiff punish her. That is now gone. So if we hit her with the hatchet and do down forward 2-3, as you can see, no pushback. That bug is gone. So I mean, this isn't really too impactful, but it's a small nerf to a really niche situation. I don't really know why they felt the need to get rid of that, but it's gone. So similarly to what they did with Bryan's Heat Smash, where they kind of made it so that if the first hit connects, the second and the third will always work, even in a combo. They did the same thing to down back 1+2, where basically the first hit just kind of has like a vacuum effect in a combo where it will like never whiff. I can't really tell if this is also happening in neutral yet, because that used to be a slight problem in neutral, but like same thing with like the Heat Smash, like just to show you guys. So like if you do a combo with, you know, a lot of hits, you see down back 1+2 kind of has that like vacuum effect where it just like sucks the opponent in, and the second hit will always hit, you know, as long as the first one does. I dropped it there, but you get the idea. Again, not a really important change, just something to go over really quick. Okay, so next is kind of a weird buff that I honestly don't know what the hell it even does. So Bryan's hatchet kick, QC back 3 got blocked. It says that the hitbox has been expanded, reducing the occurrence of some moves whiffing at close range. So I don't know what this does. I've tested a lot of things. The tracking seems mostly the same. It's still totally consistent to just sidewalk left. The range seems about the same, and I don't know what they mean by mitigating the occurrence of moves whiffing at close range. I really don't know. I mean, I could understand if maybe they made it so that Bryan is closer on hit, but I don't know. I've seen a lot of Bryan players saying that it's homing now, and that it has more range now, and that it does all kinds of things now, but I have no idea. I honestly, if anybody in the comments knows what this buff actually did and can show me examples, please tell me, because I don't really know. The only thing that I could tell was that it seems harder now to step hatchet at heavy minus frames. So for example, like if I get hit by Bryan back 1, or let's say I just get hit by a hatchet, like we'll make him do like 2 hatchets. I did find that it seemed to be harder to move around this now, but even this, earlier I was actually having trouble sidewalking this. Now I'm really not. So I honestly don't know. If you guys know what this patch did, this little like buff with the hatchet kick, please let me know, because I have no idea. I've been testing for a really long time and I can't tell. The tracking seems the same, the range seems the same, situation seems the same. So if you guys have any idea, please let me know. So next they buffed his QC back 4. They made it more consistent with hitting on the ground, but this doesn't seem to have done too much. The situation where QC back 4 normally whips on the ground is this, when they're face down, feet towards, and you try to hit them like in their legs like this. It still whiffs here. It's slightly more consistent on the side, which also used to be an issue. But the biggest like instance of QC back 4 whiffing is still not really fixed. Like I said, it's more consistent on the side like that, but straight to like the face down, feet towards situation, it's still really hard to hit people here. But generally, it's more consistent now, which is nice. I just wish they would have fixed that one instance where it whiffs pretty consistently. But yeah, QC back 4 is more consistent now on the ground, which is cool. So this next buff is actually a pretty big one. They buffed Bryan's 3+4 hold 2, the guard break, to make it so that it's no longer possible to power crush or use a reversal to beat it. So for example, Reina with her little parry where she just taps forward like this, she used to be able to really easily counter 3+4 charge 2 just by tapping the forward, like reacting to the charge. But as you guys can see, this no longer works. Same with power crushes. You can't just power crush through it anymore. If you have a fast enough power crush like this Reina one, it's still possible to like react to it if you're sharp and beat it out, but you cannot just interrupt it, or you can't just like armor through it anymore like you used to be able to. So this is just me like interrupting it on reaction with the power crush, which, you know, doesn't really happen too often in a real game. But as you can see, I can't power crush through it anymore, and I can't do my little parry by tapping forward. So that's a universal change. All characters can no longer power crush or reversal this. So pretty good buff, makes the charge a bit more viable. So it's a pretty good buff, because I used to think the guard break was pretty bad. Now it has a lot more utility. So the final buff that Bryan got is to his forward 2-1-2-3-2 string in Snake Eyes. So he got a lot of buffs to this string, and it makes it a lot more viable. The first thing that I want to talk about is that it uses less heat now. So full string doesn't take away as much heat as it used to. It used to take away as much as forward 1+2 or like 3+4-2, where it basically takes away a full bar of heat. Now it doesn't. So you can see the difference. I have enough time to do, you know, almost 3 of these. And that's a pretty good buff already, because honestly, I think Bryan's heat in general is a lot stronger now, so staying in it for a long time is pretty important. And he got a lot of changes to the frame data of the string as well, but before we get into that, this is the really big buff that he got with this, so that the third hit can be delayed. So you guys can see, the third hit can be delayed, the forward 2-1-2, the 2 can be delayed, which actually makes the string hit confirmable. Because now you can confirm the forward 2-1 hit and then go into the 2 and finish the string, which is really, really, really good. Also, the third hit on block used to be -12. It is now -2, which is honestly pretty crazy. The fourth hit also used to be -15 on block, and now the fourth hit is only -3 on block. So the only part of this string that you'll finish that's unsafe is the final hit, which is only -10 anyway. So it's honestly pretty ridiculous that this string is hit confirmable and safe now. There's also some changes to the frame advantage on hit. For example, with the fourth hit, used to be -7 on hit, it is now +11, which is pretty crazy. I need to make him just block. But the frame advantage on the third hit was also changed to +9 from +3. So this is now +9 force crouch, and then it can be confirmed into the rest of the string. But yeah, so this string has a lot more utility now. Just, I guess, like throwing it out or doing it after like a sidestep or something. Because the third hit being +9 on hit force crouch is actually really good, and it gives this string a lot more potential to like actually be used in neutral and hit confirmed, as opposed to just, you know, kind of just like using it as a taunt follow-up like I was doing. So these buffs are pretty cool. So before I end the video, I just have to talk about one stealth buff that they gave Bryan and they did not put in the patch. That is his 3+4 on hit. So his 3+4 was already nerfed going into Tekken 7, because going into Tekken 8, I mean, because it didn't knock down on normal hit anymore like it used to. But they made the pushback on hit way, way farther with this patch, and they did not put that in the patch notes. I don't know why they did this. The situation after 3+4 on hit was already not great, and for some reason they felt the need to nerf it even more. And as you guys can see, it just looks unnatural. First of all, like they just teleport to the other side of the screen. It did not used to do this, and I mean, you're +8 here, and I mean, like, what are you really gonna do here? You have like 2 options that you could maybe hit the opponent with, especially if you hit the 3+4 from like really far away like this, which is kind of like where you want to really be baiting the 3+4. You don't really have anything to hit them with. I don't know why they did this. I hope they revert it. It was a stealth nerf. Wasn't in the patch notes, but it's pretty evident that it was changed. And I really hope it gets reverted. So overall, I mean, yeah, Bryan got some pretty cool buffs. I don't think that any of them are too impactful, and you know, are gonna like move him up a tier or anything. I think he's pretty much the same strength level that he was at before. But pretty much almost all of these buffs were related to his heat game, which I think is great because his heat being really bad has like been my biggest complaint with him since day one. So I'm happy that they addressed that. I hope he does get some more fixes in the future, mostly to just like his jab and other small bugs that he has. I don't really think he needs many buffs at this point. I mean, I think he's a really strong character. And I'm happy that a lot of these bugs address some of the issues that he has. So yeah, overall, I mean, cool patch. We got some small buffs. Nothing really to write home about, nothing too wild, just some cool quality of life improvements and general strength improvements to his heat game, which has by far been his weakest aspect. So yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see in the future. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you guys have a good day.